Top on the brief this morning, President Bola Tinubu has been speaking yet again about the removal of fuel subsidy, which he says may have created some discomfort to Nigerians, but was necessary to prevent the country from going bankrupt. Well, the president, who was in Riyadh, where he's attending the special World Economic Forum meetings on global collaboration, growth, and energy for development, alongside President Paul Kagame of Rwanda and other world leaders, assured that there is light at the end of the tunnel. Well, during the panel session, President Tinubu also added that his vision is to reset the country's economy and create a new pathway for growth.
Concerning the question of the subsidy removal, there's no doubt that it was a necessary action for my country not to go bankrupt. One, to reset the economy and the pathway to growth. It is going to be difficult, but the hallmark of leadership is taking difficult decisions at the time it ought to be taken decisively. That was necessary for the country. Yes, there will be blowback. There is expectation that the difficulty in it will be felt by a greater number of the people. But once, I believe it was their interest that is the focus of the government. It is easier to manage and explain the difficulties. Along the line, there is a parallel arrangement to really cushion the effect of the subsidy removal on the vulnerable population of the country. We had the big influence of Nigeria to discourage unconstitutional change of government. Equally, we have eased the sanctions. We need to trade with one another, not fight each other. It is very, very necessary and compulsory.
Well, back home, it would seem, people were fighting each other, as it was a difficult weekend with the resurgence of petrol scarcity in many parts of the country, with the situation spilling over into the new week that we're in right now. Our marketers blame the scarcity on supply chain challenges. The Confederation of APC support groups is accusing them of deliberately sabotaging efforts of the federal government by hoarding the product due to the removal of fuel subsidy. Addressing a news conference in Kaduna, the Director General of the group, Professor Mohammed Kailani, alleges that the marketers claim to be out of stock, whereas their tanks are filled with the product.
They were happy, the subsidy was on, and they were making billions. Now that the subsidy has been removed, no more free money. Now they resorted to hoarding these petroleum products so that they will maximize. They are the ones suffering us, our own brothers. Okay, look at the issue of dollar and naira. Naira has appreciated. Dollar from 1,900 and something, it came down to almost 1,000 or even less. Up to now, the goods and services are still not down. They are our brothers. We have to checkmate them. Me and you press, you have a job to do. In this regard, we are calling on the government to establish price control board for all these commodities so that they will fix prices for them. Anyone who contravenes it should be dealt with.
Well, the irony is that the federal government says Nigeria's crude oil production for the first quarter of 2024 has increased to 1.4 million barrels per day, a major increase from last year. The Minister of State for Defense, Bello Matawale, who gave the figures during the passing out parade of the Nigerian Navy Basic Training School on a river state, commended the Navy for their fight against crude oil theft.
Operation Delta Sanity, activated to curb crude oil theft, has leading to a rising crude oil productions since the last 6 months to 1,428,613 barrels per day from less than 1,000. And also aware that the Nigerian Navy recently increased the salaries of non-Ministry of Defense staff in all Navy welfare schools by 100% to cushion the higher cost of living, as well as other incentives as palliative.
Speaking of security, airstrikes carried out by the air component of Operation World Punch targeted at terrorist hideouts in Shiroro local government area of Niger State has essentially come up with results. It's also said to have conducted some airstrikes against saboteurs in the Niger Delta region with significant results. A statement by the Director of Public Relations and Information of the Nigerian Air Force, Air Vice Marshal Edward Gapquet, says in Shiroro local government area, the strikes were executed at the stronghold of a notorious terrorist kingpin, Malam Umar, and several other commanders located in the Alawa Forest area. The statement adds that similar airstrikes were also carried out the same day in the Niger Delta region against economic saboteurs and oil thieves. To elections now, it was a weekend of local government elections in Oyo and Gombe states, but the polls didn't come without a fair share of contestations. Let's go over to Oyo State now, where the Independent Electoral Commission of the state, OISEC, has announced the ruling party in the state, the People's Democratic Party, PDP, as a winner of all the 33 local government areas. And while Governor Seyi Makinde described the election as credible and peaceful, there have been complaints from some local government areas about discrepancies noticed during the electoral process. Well, the reverse is the case in Gombe State, where the Electoral Commission there has declared the ruling All Progressives Congress APC winner of all 11 chairmanship seats and 114 councillorship positions. And essentially, it's a mixed bag. But the Gombe State People's Democratic Party, PDP, has rejected the outcome of the exercise, alleging that it was a travesty of democracy and mere drama. And out to River State now, in the aftermath of that tanker explosion that killed at least 5 people and destroyed several vehicles on the East-West Road. Well, President Bola Tinubu is extending his heartfelt condolences to the families of the victims of the fire incident. The president directs federal agencies in the state to continue liaising with the state government to provide the much-needed immediate support to all victims. Meanwhile, the chairman of the Nigeria Governors Forum, Abdurrahman Abdulrazak, has called for a review of regulatory frameworks concerning the transportation of inflammable substances like petrol and gas. He also called, or rather recalled with sadness, a similar explosion in Ogun State. Speaking of accidents, the Director General of the Nigerian Safety Investigation Bureau, the NSIB, Captain Alex Bade Jr., believes that it is very important for every commuter, whether on land, air, or water, to be made aware of all safety issues relevant to their commute. Well, Captain Bade, in an interview with Channels Television, also clarified that the Bureau does not exist to assign blames to anyone, but rather investigate safety incidents comprehensively. And to business now, President Tinubu held several meetings on the sidelines of the World Economic Forum special meeting. During a meeting with the chairman of AP Moller Maersk, Mr. Robert Maersk Hogla, the president secured an investment of $600 million from the Danish shipping company to expand existing port infrastructure to accommodate more container shipping services in Nigerian ports. President Tinubu also met with the president and chief executive officer of Samsung, Hong Nam-kung, and the chairman of Samsung Investment Global, Jung-wook Kim. The president assured them that Nigeria's investment environment operates on the principle of a willing buyer and willing seller. In a separate meeting, however, with Microsoft founder and philanthropist Mr. Bill Gates, President Tinubu said technology is a potent weapon against corruption and financial impropriety in public service. And over to Dubai now, where another part of the United Arab Emirates, the authorities there are still battling with devastating flood and windstorm that wreaked havoc on the empire. And a committee set up by the UAE government to evaluate damage caused by recording a record-breaking storm and propose solutions has held its first meeting according to state media agency. Well, 4 technical committees have also been established to focus on roads and infrastructure, as well as houses and properties, dams and water facilities, as well as energy and water. Our correspondent Mayo Adegoke has been given updates on the flood situation, saying that the committees have been given mandate to sort of ameliorate that situation. And to sports news now, Paris Saint-Germain have been confirmed as Ligue 1 champions without playing. And that's after their closest challenges. Monaco lost 3-2 away to Lyon. Monaco's defeat gave PSG an unassailable 12-point lead at the top of the table with 3 games remaining, and it means they are champions for a French record existing 12th time. PSG could have clinched the title on Saturday with a win at home to struggling Le Havre, but in the end, they needed a 95th minute equalizer to snatch a 3-3 draw. Luis Enrique's side are also hoping to see off Dortmund and win through to the final of the Champions League on June the 1st.